Happy Monday.
First of all, let me just say I am feeling some kind of way that it's Cinco de Mayo and I can't even drink a margarita. Okay, I got that out.
Shoot. It's Cinco de Mayo?
Girl.
It's been Cinco de Mayo all day long.
Listen, if anybody should have known it should have been you, Gypsy, for real.
Child, I had appointments today, so I was somewhere, but I wasn't here. Not mentally. Mentally, I was not here, so I did not really realize that it was May the 5th.
That it was Cinco de Mayo.
Right. Let me just say that I'm just surviving.
Shit, we all are at this point.
I'm just surviving, honey.
I was talking to one of my clients who's a therapist, and I was like, there are moments when we can look back and recognize people are always going through, right? Like that's just like, but this is one of the moments everybody is going through. Like kicking all of our asses. I don't care who you is and how you think.
Remember what I told you? There's very few events that kind of like hit everybody at the same time. And I mean, like 9/11 was one of our events that hit everybody at the same time. COVID, the beginning of COVID was one of those events. I mean, but I don't know what's going on now, but Mercury is in retrograde and it's just like, wait a minute, how long now? I mean, I feel like I'm in a parallel universe. But speaking of which, now, I know I'm not crazy. Back in the day, there was a genie movie that Sinbad was in.
I keep hearing y'all talk about this.
And everybody keeps saying, Sinbad said he wasn't in. I know I'm not crazy. I saw that movie. And now I can't find anything about it. And people keep saying, well, they say he wasn't in one. Not now. It can't be so many of us that remember that he was in this genie movie.
What was the name of the movie?
I can't even remember. I just remember him being in this genie movie and he had on these big wild pants. They was like kind of like flaring pants,
I remember the movie. I don't know if it's because everybody has talked about it for so long. But I remember the movie.
But they swear it never happened. And I was like, so there are occasions like that where there's a lot of us that'll say that. I can't remember what they call that. But they were talking about that phenomenon, but they were basically saying that we do have a parallel universe. I'm like,
I believe it.
I believe it too. So somewhere there's a Sean that looked like Sean, but he probably ratchet.
I mean, you know that's called the Mandela effect, and so many people.
That's it. That's what it is. The Mandela effect. Okay.
I think there are multiple timelines.
Him so smart.
That's why I love him, because he a little corporate thug on us.
Right.
You better come through, Sean.
Look, and look, he did it all smooth. He had a little red cup. He said, "This is called the Mandela effect." Yep.
But seriously though, I feel like, and this is just me, out in left field for a minute, I think that there are parallel lives, alternate timelines, other universes. I think we live more than one life. I think that all of those things are possible. Because I just think, as big as we're supposed to believe, if you believe in God, source, creator, whatever, if you believe in this divinity, this being that's supposed to be so big and so amazing, then how can it be contained in just this one experience? That's what I think. So
I also believe we down here to learn a lesson. And sometimes if you don't learn, you come back. I believe I've been here before. I was bad as shit last time I was here. I'm bad again.
Your ass coming back.
I'm gonna be back again. He gonna say, "You need to learn."
Okay, so have any of y'all ever watched and then I'm gonna go back to a comment I made last week that some ladies wanted me to clarify. Have any of y'all ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
One time, I watched it one time, and that was because I didn't know what I was watching. I had, in the middle of, how you be. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what the hell is it?
yeah.
Oh, and then I found out they was all men and they look better than me. I was like, oh, let me change the channel.
That being said, so I like RuPaul, right? I really do like RuPaul. I've always liked RuPaul. Um, he just seems like a pretty genuinely decent person. So I've always tried to support like his shows and stuff like that. And anyway, there was this character on the show called Shangela or something like that. A few like this been a while ago.
Okay.
But Shangela, like one of the dudes, when he would get in drag, his name was Shangela. And Shangela was like, bitch.
Uh-uh.
So I feel like the reason I'm bringing that up is I feel like spirit, God, angels, whatever's up there be looking down at us like, let your bitch ass down. Like, y'all just down there fucking up over and over and over again.
I know my angel is probably like, damn it, here we go again.
Here she go with some fuck shit. That being said, to segue, before we get into tonight's topic, have we used sex to heal from hurts, relationships, traumas, whatever? Um, Last week I made a comment and several ladies reached out to me like, Jay, I'm gonna need you to talk about that a little bit more because I feel like I was in that role and didn't know I was in that role. And I was like, okay, let's go. So I mentioned last week, damn, Gypsy, you sat up. You ready for this one, ain't you? Come
I'm
on,
ready
girl.
for this one, honey. I had to go on and get on up. Let me see. Hold on now. It might be me.
Hey,
Hey.
so I made a comment last week that a really powerful thing that my ex-husband had done as we were first coming together was he helped me to see, some really close people in my life because I think that men see women and women see men, right? We see things that the other gender can't pick up sometimes. And so he helped me to recognize where I was just really out of balance with several of my friendships. And it wasn't that I didn't know. I don't want to paint myself as just stupid, but sometimes you care so much about people that you just allow yourself to stay in a role even when you
Mm.
start to identify that okay, this ain't what I need to be doing or how I need to be rolling. So when he started calling out certain behaviors to me, I had to sit back and look at myself. And what I recognized for myself, girl, hey, what I recognized for myself was I had become the man in the friendship and several of my friendships with my female friends. And the reason I say that, most women want a guy that's going to be a provider. He gonna be able to step in and save the day if she need help. He's got it financially if she doesn't. He's a resource. He's got her back, right? And what I started recognizing was I was that friend. Not that they saw me as a man per se, but I've always been a person that held a budget. Like if this is my overhead, this is my budget. I've always been a person that saved. I've always been a person that's good with money. Um, and so, aside from the catastrophes that I've had, after car accidents and health issues, I was always that dependable person. So I was that friend that they could call, like, hey, Jazz, we ain't got the mortgage this month. All right, let me pull it from my savings. And there were, most of the time they were going to pay it back. That was the plan. And then there were times when I would just give whatever I was giving, right? I've always held that belief. Don't give it if you can't afford to not get it back. Now, I want you to pay me back because that's what we're agreeing to. But if you can't, it's not going to put me in a bind. You get what I'm saying? Well, I've got some friends that through the years, that has been a thing and they've always paid me back. So I can always say yes if I have it. But I started recognizing that this particular friend, there was something she had done for me years ago that always came up in conversation. Like anytime she had an opportunity to work against the competition, oh well, you know, Jazz, and it would be like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because this was like
remember when
yes, because this was like a 10, 11-year friendship, right? So but I would think to myself, now I wonder if she telling people all the shit that I do on a regular for her. Because you talking about stepping in to pay the mortgage if they didn't have it, stepping in to pay utility bills or buy groceries or whatever it might have been, you know, that they needed at the time. And there were 2 particular friends in my life that I realized I had been put into that role. And now, ironically, both of them were married. And so what he had to snatch me one day, like, baby, you know, this shit is real crazy that they keep calling you to help save the day. And they both got husbands. Like, what the fuck is going on? And one of them, the husband, was a hard worker. Like, he worked 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but they were living above their means. Hey, MJ Hustle. And then the other husband, he had a record, which made it harder for him to get, you know, the type of employment they needed to maintain things. They had like 5, 6, 7 kids, whatever it was. There was a lot going on. And when I stepped back to no longer be that person and I started saying no, then all of a sudden the text and the phone calls weren't coming through just to check on me. Like, you checking on me as long as you're trying to make sure that pipeline is open, right? But when that was not the case, the bank was no longer open, then it was like, well, we too busy. Oh, girl, you know, I ain't forgot you, but blah, 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 right? And then when I started going through financial challenges, guess who I couldn't call? Because if I'm always saving you, you're never going to be in a position to save me. So I wanted to go back and explain more of what I meant when I made that comment last week. Because like I had like 4 different ladies message me like, I need for you to go back and talk about that, because I think I'm that friend that got put in that role, and I don't know if I knew that. Yeah, girl, let's talk about that, because we as the dependable ones, you know what I'm saying, will get turned into that money bags or that financier type person in people's lives if we're not careful and if we don't pay attention. Hey, Jennifer. And I think it's something that we definitely have to be mindful of. Hey, this, we have to definitely be mindful of, you know, what do we allow people to utilize us as? Are we truly their friend? Are we truly their sis or their little sis? Are we just
ATM?
The ATM. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, because I don't even understand. Like, I mean, especially when you said they both were married. Like, because I don't care what's going on. If I got a record where I can't get a regular job, I'm gonna do something. I'll be selling mixtapes out my trunk or something. I gotta make some money. I can't just be out here. And then on top of that, so your husband don't have people so they can go to.
Like, right. And the crazy thing was, like, it's crazy how you can be in a situation. And I just want to share this for context. Like, during that same time period, y'all, this was the craziest shit, because during that same time period, I had left my job. Like, I went to work on a Monday and I was off work that Tuesday because they had taken me out on medical leave, emergency medical leave. So I had an income one day, no income the next. My guy that I had only been dating at the time for not even a year was like, you're not going to miss a beat. You good. I got you. So he stepped in and took over everything. You know what I'm saying? And he did work extra and do what he had to do to make sure that I had what I needed and that I was okay. And I was in turn helping him, like he had his own business or whatever. So I would step in and help him with different things when he would let me in. But for the most part, I was at home healing and going to doctor's appointments. But I still saved. Like, anything I made, I'm saving. So how is it that I got this person that I wasn't even married to? You know what I'm saying? And yet these 2 women that had husbands in the households still put that pressure on me to be that person. And because my heart was so genuine, because I really loved them as like sisters, it was like, okay, I would rather give it to you than for you to not have it and something bad happen. But ask me that shit now and I'd be like, hell no. Like, no.
I'm just saying, because sometimes people they gotta learn a lesson the hard way, because I mean, you living outside your means, I mean, and he already working 60, 70, 80 hours, a week, and you living outside Jamees?
Yes. This he was genuinely a good dude, like
Hmm.
fact. And that was what started to wake me up. And we eventually went our separate ways, and I ended up marrying somebody else. And then it was him, and then my ex-husband that was like, Jay, this no, no. Um, that gave me the backbone to be like, this is not okay. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and keep saying no. But I think we as women, just oh, Jennifer, you just threw some purple tint. Now we want to see pictures. Um, can you or this you said 18 with the females? Yeah. Shit is
Yeah.
insane. But the craziness is that we will put that expectation, some women, not all of us, but some women will put that expectation on other people instead of doing what they got to do. Or, like you said, Sean, the man in their life being like, fuck it. Because I know my ex-husband, my ex-partner, they was the kind of dudes that was like, I ain't asking nobody for shit. I'm going to get out here and figure it out as a man. So that was interesting to see that contrast. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's all in the type of partner we choose at the same time. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, like I said, they asked me for clarity, and somebody messaging me now. I'm not saying nothing else. Get your ass out my text messages and on this in these comments. But yeah, I just want to go back and hit on that real quick because that's something that a lot of us that are genuine and have good hearts find ourselves falling into. Jennifer says, Gypsy, you inspired her. Yeah, I love that.
Yay.
Um, Nadina said, it's the type of woman that you befriended back then. Yes, a grown, reasonable friend would never put someone in that position or even ask. And to tell you the honest truth, the friends that I have now are so different. Like, I have a friend now that still has to borrow money every once in a while, but I would gladly give it to her because you know what? Every time I've had surgery, it's never been, can you? It's always been, as soon as I mentioned it, let me know when you schedule because I'm coming. Ain't no if, no buts, no, I'm going to be there. Will interrupt her whole life. You know what I'm saying? And so my circle of friends now, as you age, you learn. You know, we're different in our 20s than we are in our 30s and our 40s.
I
And as
mean,
we age, we hopefully mature.
there are some friends that have traveled with me. Then there's others that I've had to cut loose.
Yeah. This said, we do still exist. Oh, hands that listen. Black men are like magical to me. Y'all ain't nobody gonna ever convince me that black men ain't amazing. Like hands down.
Right.
Best things walking the face of the earth. There's still plenty of good men. I tell people if you think that there are no good men, you gotta change your circle because it's who you're hanging around.
Yep. Because the
Um
thing is that anybody who says there's no good anything, men or women,
yeah,
the problem it's you and who you attract.
yeah. Whole facts. Whole facts. Do you want to chime in and say anything else about that before we segue to tonight's topic? Have we used sex to heal? Y'all know I'd be excited to talk about that one because my answer is hell yeah every
this,
time.
this is all I wanted to say about that is that some people, men and women, they're not looking for friendship, they're not looking for companionship, they're looking for a come up. And so
Yes.
we just have to kind of like recognize that. I mean, there are times that I didn't want to believe that somebody who had longevity was really meaning me harm, right?
Yeah.
And that was just you wanting them to be as genuine as you are. And sometimes, basically, you do become the ATM. I had someone tell me that, believe it or not, it was a relative. Because I said, you only call me when you need something. You
Mm-hmm.
treat me like an ATM. That's because that's what you are. We don't have that kind of relationship. Oh, okay. Glad to know you feel that way.
I wouldn't have ever had the nerve to open my mouth and say that for no.
Some people have no couth. Some
That's
people,
self-respect, because to degrade somebody that you're reaching out to get help from, that's insanity at its finest.
Some people think they can do whatever. Trust me.
so that being said, we need to stop trying to turn branches and leaves into trees.
Facts.
Everybody's not supposed to be there for life.
Lifetime, reason, and season.
Some people are there to teach you a lesson. Some
Yeah.
people are there to be a blessing.
Yeah.
So we better stop trying to keep people around that have outlasted their usefulness.
Facts. Hey, Alicia.
Hey,
Okay, so let me give my
so
boo
let's
thing a
move
shout
on.
out. Y'all, if you are in the Birmingham area and you need that beverage or that food that's gonna get you right. That's how I'm gonna say that.
Right?
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. If you in the Birmingham area, uh, give us a shout so we can get you connected with Miss Alicia. That's my boo.
Now, is it infused?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
all of that,
All right.
all of that. She's the one. Her and her sister are the one that I said made the cookies that I ate some years ago, and I couldn't move for like 4 days, 3, 4 days. I was literally crawling out of bed.
Why would you want to send somebody to somebody that's gonna put them in a coma?
I didn't know. That was my first time ever eating an edible. So I ate the whole damn cookie. Nobody told me. Now I know you're only supposed to take a pinch. I didn't know anything about it at that time. So I just bought the cookie and took my ass home and ate it and learned the hard way.
It sure is a good cookie.
I was dying. Y'all, I thought I was dying. I think it was chocolate chip macadamia nut. Oh my God. But they do brownies, they do all the food, they all the things, and the drinks too. All the things. Yo, we was over there with her this weekend and she offered us some lemonade. So I was like, okay. And everybody else around the table was her family and was like, yeah, I want some. And then somebody asked, wait, which kind is it? And I was like, I'm glad y'all asked, because we ought to have been laid the fuck out. Nobody would have been able to do anything.
But somebody told me,
Mm.
not gonna say who was, somebody
Mhm.
told me that there's different things for different things. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
depressed, there's a certain kind
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to take.
Mhm.
Um, and,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm not versed in all that, I'm like, yeah, nah. Because
Yeah, it was the peach mango lemonade.
I mess around and I be on the news because I ran down the street streaking, or I'm just, yeah, see the way
Don't
my
do
mind,
it.
my
Don't do
body
it.
chemistry is set up. Yeah, nah, I can't.
Don't do it. But
Right.
listen,
Say
this
Jay had one, but she sure did. She probably saw Jesus and Michael and all the angels. Ain't no
listen,
telling
I
who
was
she
seeing
saw.
rainbows far and unicorns flying.
Pink
I
hearts, yellow moons, pepper stars.
I couldn't stand
She
up
saw
straight
all
for
the
like
lucky charms.
4 days, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because this was on a Sunday afternoon,
Mm.
like literally at 12 o'clock. Sunday afternoon, about 12 o'clock. And I don't think I was able to stand up straight until that Wednesday morning. And the only reason I think it was Wednesday is because I had a client I had to get to that day that was in home care hospice. So I had to get to her because she was like last stages. So I had to show up for her and her family.
You
I
was
didn't want
too that day.
I did not, I probably was, but I didn't want to not show up. And I'm, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Moving on to tonight's topic. Have you ever used that good that's, yeah, I'm saying, to heal? And y'all know I have talked about this a lot. So I was excited when y'all voted to talk about this tonight. Because what we talking about, Gypsy and Sean? Like, come on through. Yes, all the yeses. I have used sex to heal so much through the years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They called it healing. I called it forgetting. What?
Listen, Jennifer said I talked to bunnies in the sky. Man, I had a fuck around, find out Jesus moment. I saw cows flying. Listen, you
She
name it,
said
I
the
probably
bunnies in
saw
the
it. Hey,
sky.
sure.
Bunnies in the sky. Okay.
Bunnies in the sky.
All right.
Reading
Yeah,
rainbow.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all was gone because that's wild.
but
it
seriously
would
though,
be what my name was if somebody had asked me. Probably like it was
that's
that
funny.
deep. Mm-mm.
Sex to heal. Truthfully, it is like escapism. Really, it really
No, I
is.
mean it can be. It
It
really
is.
can be.
It's really like escapism. And it only works for the moment, just like drinking, just like drugging, just like anything else that you're using to replace the trauma instead of addressing the trauma. And actually,
Yeah.
it's dangerous because when you try to use sex to heal, then you trauma bond with somebody.
Yes and no. Some I'm gonna jump on in here with this. First, let's clarify trauma bond because that's not really the correct
They
usage
may
for
be
it.
using sex to heal. You may be using sex to heal, and both of y'all are just bound by your trauma. And if the only thing that really seems to be holding y'all together is sex, and it's usually around some negative fuck shit going on, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you trauma bonded to that person.
Mm, no. So the reason I keep saying no is that's not the correct usage of trauma bond. So let's clarify that first. From a mental health perspective, trauma bonding is when a victim bonds
Oh,
with the
like,
person that is inflicting trauma. So not
mm-hmm.
everybody that's having sex with someone is technically trauma bonding with their person. Some people, yes, if they're being abused, but that's not going to always be the case, right? Now, from my perspective, because y'all know I'm sex positive, that don't mean I'm out there doing all the things, but I stay in my lane and I do what I do. So I have seen sex be one of the most powerful tools for healing. And that first came into my awareness when I was like 19, 20, because I had a client, one of my very first in-home clients. She was a quadriplegic. Her break was somewhere right up in here. So she had
Mm.
limited movement in her arms, um, really no control with her fingers. But she could do limited things, but she pretty much had somebody in the house with her 24/7. She could drive, basic things.
Somebody
Um,
who can't use their fingers, and you gonna let them get behind the wheel of a car?
Listen, so she couldn't move all her individual fingers, but she could use it to like grip. So you can have your steering wheel adjusted where they have a knob on there and you can turn it, and then you can have height extenders put on your pedals for your brake and your gas, where you can use your other hand to push it down or either knob to control it. So she had all of that. Like she had a wealthy family. They were able to do all those things, right? But she had been in a car accident at like 18, 19, was right when she was graduating high school. And her, I see your comment, Jennifer. And her boyfriend at the time was in the car with her when they had the car accident, right? So I remember her sharing. Now, by the time I was working with her, she was in her mid 20s. And so I remember her sharing with me how her boyfriend staying with her after that major accident because he walked away and she was paralyzed for life. Um, but he stayed with her. They were together for like a few more years. And him staying with her helped her to navigate like the major, obviously major change in her life, of not being able to walk and being bound to a wheelchair and all the ups and downs that it had taken for her to even get to the point where she had a semblance of life of being able to live on her own, right? And she shared with me how sex had, like, she was still able to have sex.
Hmm.
People think that somebody that's a quadriplegic or wheelchair bound automatically has no feeling below the waist, and that's not always true. And yes, their sexual parts do in fact work. And so she was my very first client that shared with me her experiences. My second client was a guy. He was in his 30s by the time I started working with him. His break had happened somewhere similar, I think around 18, 19, but his happened from a swimming incident.
Hmm.
And he he ended up telling me like he knew he was gonna be all right when he got his first erection, right? So like when he was in the trauma center, he just like go on and take me. God, I don't want to wake up. But when, like, he had been there for a minute, and one of the nurses came in to give him a bed bath one day, and he got an erection. He was like, I knew I was gonna be all right. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. Oh, okay.
He said it still work. It still work.
It still work, baby. So hearing them, and then through the years, because I did that work off and on for 13, 14 years, almost 15 years, right? So hearing the most intimate details, you get what I'm saying, of people that had these horrendous situations, catastrophic injuries, all these things, and how sex really actually, and intimacy, let's separate those, because those are two different things sometimes, but how those two things really were significant in them being able to rebound and like rebuild their self-confidence. And even with me having had major injuries, having had, multiple major surgeries in my past few years, and my ex-partner was like really instrumental in me being able to navigate that, the weight gain, because I've gained like 60 pounds total, I think, through the course of that relationship. And like his positivity for me and his love of my body and like celebration of my body really was key in helping me to hold space and be like, oh, I'm still the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, I will jump off every mountaintop screaming that sex can be a healer when you use it the right way. You cannot use it to escape. You can't be focusing on it to think somebody else is going to heal you. But the act, the intimacy, the pleasure, the joy, all the parts of that experience when you fully participate, absolutely can be. Let me tell you something. I am Jay, and I am gonna say sex is a healer, baby. No, I'm Jay, and I'm an addict. Go ahead.
Now, I feel you on that. Now, me personally, when I was younger, I used to do that, but I mean, it wasn't for the right reasons. Because I'd be dealing with somebody, and then they want to break up, so I'd be bad. So I'm like, all right, fine, I don't need you to go sleep with somebody else, But it felt good at the time, and it didn't make me think about them. But then afterwards, I'm like,
Right.
I probably shouldn't have did that.
I get that.
Right.
We've all probably had a moment like that, whether it was for that reason or something different. We've all probably had a moment like that, or two, or many. But
many.
but there's awareness, like you started to do something different because you had awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you that using sex as a healer, that's how I wound up married, because it also blinds you to some of the other things that should make you run away. Because while you're healing from other things, you're ignoring the main things, if that makes sense. And like I said, he's not a bad man, just wasn't the right man for me, and we should not have been married. Yeah. Right. And so that's why you have to be careful when you're using sex for healing, because so maybe it isn't trauma bonding, but just almost like escapism, or that leads you to basically, it's like heroism, like where you're like thinking like that person is the one that can save you from whatever else is going on. Right. And so it could lead you to stay somewhere you shouldn't stay and be with someone you shouldn't be with.
Like playing Captain Save a Hoe.
That's it. Just because they wear the cape well.
How many women have really thought that pussy was gonna make a man do anything different?
Oh.
Look at all these daggone single mamas out here. We all been there, done that.
And how many men thought dick was gonna save a chick and make her do
but you know what's
different?
so bad though? When you single mama and you number 3 or 2 or 3 in the pile, like the other ones didn't stop him from being a hoe. What made you think you was gonna do
that?
He community pain, girl.
That.
I
Get
mean,
in there with your sister wives and y'all just hang out. Oh,
enjoy yourself. Do whatever you're gonna do. At the end of the
right.
day, be smart about it.
Yeah. I'm an advocate for choosing your path, whatever that looks like, whether it's traditional or non-traditional, choosing your partners, choosing your people, whatever. But doing so with intention. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just have, like we've argued the point over a few episodes. How do you get accidental pussy? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
be
Y'all
intentional about who you doing things with so that you don't walk away with regrets. And that don't even mean that you're always not going to have a regret, but it does mean that we can mitigate and alleviate a lot of the bullshit by just being more intentional about who we choose to sleep with and knowing our reasons, whether they line up with that person's reasons or not. What are your reasons for wanting to be intimate with somebody, wanting to sleep with somebody? What are you wanting that sex to do? Like for me, I look at sex as it's an opportunity for pleasure. It's an opportunity for closeness. It's an opportunity for growth if you're a couple or if you are married and you're trying to rekindle some shit. It's an opportunity for self-exploration. It's a beautiful experience if we let it be. But when we go in thinking we're gonna be Captain and save a hoe, or we're gonna make somebody do something they don't want to do, or we're lying to ourselves and we're just sleeping with somebody, like you said, Sean, if we're trying to get over somebody else,
right.
or we're trying to get revenge on somebody or be spiteful, like all that shit just blows up in your face. Let me catch up on these comments real quick. Jennifer said trauma bonds, in my experience, are the ones we are most resilient about releasing. Tanya said, I used dick to heal once and learned a valuable lesson. That motherfucker. Yeah. Well, yep.
Right.
Yep. And then this said, I use sex as a vice with some of those situations only turn into more stress. And that's whole facts. While you're still here, this, let me give you and said a shout out. If you guys get a chance, make sure that you catch them on YouTube. They stream live on YouTube as well. Thoughts from your boy said and this go live and talk about all kind of shit. And we are still in the works of trying to put a collaboration between our two podcasts together. But they have some pretty dope conversations happening as well. So check them out. But yeah, again, I'm a big fan for autonomy. Like grown folks need to do grown folk shit. So we can't blame everybody else for our choices or our decisions. Like unless they really are abusing you or doing something against your will, we got to be accountable to the choices that we made.
But my thing is like, and I'm pretty sure like these things are all from when we were younger, before we actually matured, got into that mature space and started thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? So now different. It's going to be different. But back then, I mean, come on now, who hasn't had a one night stand?
We're not talking about one night stands. We're
No,
talking
no,
about
no one night stands that maybe turn into more.
I'm just saying, y'all keep saying like how you accidentally follow some pussy. Like it happens. Y'all keep wanting to act like it don't happen. It happens.
No such thing as accidental sex.
All right, so you ain't never had a one. You ain't never had a one night stand. Like when you left the house, that's not what you was looking for.
That's not an accident.
But that's not what you was looking for when you left the house. You just went to go out to go have a good time.
Let's go.
Listen, the thing is, you don't know that. You do know. Listen, you do know whether or not you're gonna be open to the right one at the right time.
Listen, women know. I don't know what y'all men be thinking, but women know within seconds whether we're gonna sleep with somebody. That man opens his mouth and either confirms our choice or shuts that shit down. Because
a lot of men talk themselves out of some pussy they could have been had.
Because we don't be up there like, yeah, this is where I'm going. I'm going to the club to get some. Nope, we just going to the club to have a good time. And
we ain't even come out in the club.
Well, I just use that as an example.
When you put on your cologne, when you dress, you're dressing for someone to notice you. That is not your intention. Is not to just go to the club and have a good time. Stop the bullshit. Your intention is to maybe wind up in some that night. However, on the nights that you don't, you say, "Oh, I just went out to have a good time." But on the nights that you do, you talking about some you accidentally fell in. Get that hell out.
Because even when I'm home by myself, after I get out the shower, lotion up. I put a little bit of cologne on just because I want to smell good. I do that for me.
Tanya, so this Tanya actually brings up a good
Right
point
before
now
you
that you've been in that
masturbate.
circumstance. And oh my God. Tanya said, and in my situation, the dude removed the condom during sex without my knowledge. I did not consent to
Oh,
unprotected sex. Been
man.
there. My very first pregnancy happened because he was tampering with them. So yeah, Tanya,
Mm.
I fully understand that. And that's a hard space to be in. Um, you said
Oh, see you later, Jen.
bye, Jen. Catch up on the replay when you get a chance, love. I just want to honor you for sharing that with us, Tanya. And thank you so much because that's a really hard space. They always like to talk about women doing trifling shit and trying to get pregnant on purpose, but they don't talk about when men do trifling shit.
Oh, no, men do.
And you know that's considered assault.
It is.
No, it is.
It's considered assault when they call it stealthing, and it's
We
considered
love
assault.
you too, Jennifer.
Love
Yeah.
you.
And it's really fucked up. And that brings up its own shit that you got to deal with. And then unfortunately you had to deal with the other repercussions and consequences on top of that. So my heart goes out to you but thank you for sharing that with us. And again, this is why I'm an advocate for when you find somebody healthy, when you find somebody safe, enjoy the fuck out of it, because it's so many fucked up people in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, there's so many fucked up people. So if you actually get a decent person or a good person or a great person that you vibe with, now I say that, and y'all know I'm an introvert, so most time I'm gonna be sitting my ass somewhere being quiet. But I do come out of my box every once in a while, and so I'm just an advocate for rocking life, and sex is a beautiful part of the way to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a great thing, and everybody should, explore it and know it and enjoy it. But yes, do it the right way and do it for the right reasons. As I mean, we ain't kids no more. Now, you 20 something, lose your mind, go crazy, live life. You gain experiences. That's how you gain your knowledge.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Now, the reason I was looking like cross-eyed and side-eyeing you when you were saying that before, Sean, not that I don't agree. When we're younger, we do stupid shit, but it's still a whole bunch of old fools walking around too.
Now that's what I really got a problem with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of old fools walking around doing stupid shit for
Mm-hmm.
no other reason than they just want to be stupid, right? But even when we're younger, like at some point, we still can't blame the other people. Now, that situation with Tanya, that's an example. All fucking day long, she can blame his ass.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of situations we put ourselves in, and then we get upset and we want to point fingers at the other person instead of acknowledging. Like, how many times, and I'm just saying this as a woman because I'm a woman, how many times have we had that girlfriend and a dude will be like, I ain't really, I'm not, okay, I'm trying to think back because this is a real life situation I was trying to talk one of my friends out of. So this dude was like, I mean, I got a girl, but she got some health issues going on and she know about it. We ain't really poly, but she know like while she dealing with treatment and everything, and so my friend was telling me about it, and I was like, that don't sound right. Like, is he gonna let you meet her? Because he's saying they not poly, but they are, and what now? And I didn't really understand all the rules and ins and outs of poly because I'm not poly, right? This was some years ago. This is like 5-6 years ago. But I was like, that don't sound right. And if she's on board with it, it seemed like a situation where he'll be willing to let you talk to her for you to be comfortable with it too. Even if y'all just gonna be fuck buddies or fun buddies or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, he said he da 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 da. I wouldn't do it, but you
I
wrong.
wouldn't do it because if you can't meet the other person in the poly relationship, they're not poly, they're cheating.
Well, he tried to blame it on, well, she just, I think the girl was going through cancer or whatever. Well, she's doing treatment and she's not feeling good. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's plenty of wives I done dealt with doing hospice care, wives and girlfriends and fiancés and whoever else in they sick bed was willing to talk to the girlfriend or whoever and let them know like he or she is doing this with my permission because I can't get out of this bed. You get what I'm saying? So I and it did not end well. Like it was that situation where the dude was cheating. and the girl found out and ended up trying to fight my friend, and it just ended up being a mess. And that pisses me off because how many oftentimes women blame the woman more than they blame the man. Now I'm equal opportunity, beat both their asses if you can find out that she knew and she still went along with it. But if she telling you she didn't know and this is what he said, go deal with his ass, because at the end of the day, he's still the one in the relationship with you, right? So this is why I say but that friend kept putting herself in stupid ass situations. So eventually I had to be like, I don't even want to be your friend no more, because you can't keep attracting this kind of chaos around you, because eventually it's gonna rub off on me. Hell no. I don't want to be out with you and somebody's trying to fight you and I gotta throw blows to help save your ass from some dumb shit. No, I'm light skinned, I bruise. This caramel shows smudges. Okay, we can't do that. But anyway, I just, she didn't want to acknowledge her bullshit. Like, we have to recognize ourselves as the problem at some point.
And sometimes a lot of women are content, just like a lot of men are content with being being a side chick or side guy. And the reason is they don't really want to be in a committed relationship anyway, but they still want sex.
But I mean, you could get that being single. You don't have to be a side piece.
No, but they want that particular piece, and so they are content with being the side person because that's the piece they want.
Somebody like that.
There are some people, they are content with that. As dysfunctional as hell, but it is. There's people out here like that.
I've known a lady like that. She had a business, made good money. Like, for all intent and purposes, she should have been a good catch. But I think one thing, she had low self-esteem. And we eventually kicked her out of the friend group because, like, she kept fucking with married men. Like, it wasn't, okay, you met this guy and he lied to you and then you found out. It was, no, he married and he told you and you're okay still dealing with him. Mm-hmm. And then when that didn't work out, she was mad at him because he didn't leave the wife. Then she got into another situation. This time the guy told her they were separating and whatever else and this, that, and the other. And she was taking him on vacation, doing all kind of shit, spending all this money. Eventually he went to therapy with the wife and got back with the wife. And she was mad at him. Then she was dating another. And it was like, okay, at some point, chick, you got to see yourself in this. And now none of us trust you, because if you will willingly sleep with all these people, it ain't about trusting what I got, but I'll be damned if I'm going to put either one of us in a vulnerable situation.
Because what's going to happen is I'm finna be on.
Listen, because you can trust what you got and still not be stupid.
Look, all y'all gonna hear is dum dum. Because I'm finna be on Law and Order. Because that's exactly what's finna happen. I'm finna be on Law and Order, and hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna be holding up a sign, and these are their stories.
Or on that story, Accused, that new show now, Accused. Because everybody likes to say, well, if you trust you're a man. No, baby. There are just some things you don't put yourself in a situation. Even if you trust your person, why would you leave them in a situation with somebody that is fucked up?
It's
like,
people
asking for bullshit.
Listen, it's people that are like lion tamers and stuff in the circus. They trust the lion, but they don't tempt him with raw meat.
Right.
I mean, and that's just that. That is that. You don't tempt fate because he's still human.
Well, even if he doesn't do anything, let's say you got a man or a woman, and even if that person is truly loyal, they ain't gonna stray. They're not gonna do anything.
Right.
If that person still wants to tempt them, that's still gonna cause an issue. Because why are you leaving them with somebody that is gonna try them? Right. And that was my problem with her. Like, you can sit here and say, I'll never do that to my friends. What the fuck? But
you do it to strangers. Right. You do it to strangers that you already know the situation. So if I happen to get somebody that you happen to be attracted to, what's going to stop you besides me and my Elmer Fudd?
Because see, I've known people that would date their best.
You know what my Elmer Fudd is, don't
you? Yeah. Yep.
That's your friend Jawbone. That's the one that be cheating all the time.
my pium pium. Me
My,
and Elma food.
but listen, I have seen people that would literally lie in their best friend face and turn around and sleep with their husband. I've seen a family member of mine do it before. So I'm like, oh hell no.
I mean,
Catch
yeah,
a
it's true.
straight one if you want to.
The world is crazy. You know, there's instances where dudes
Yep.
slept with
The
their
world
sons,
is crazy.
girlfriends, or wives. You
That's
know, so
I don't get it.
or the mother done slept with the daughter's husband. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
it's well. That's what.
Yo, okay, so y'all know that group I tell y'all I'm in, right? And they be talking about the crazy stuff all the time. Did I tell y'all this chick? God bless her soul, because she had to be stupid. This chick posts in here and says, and ooh, I know that sounded mean, but listen, posts and says, y'all, what should I do? So she was living with her boyfriend. Her friend needed financial help, and so did they. So the friend was looking for a place to stay, and they
Oh
decided to
no.
let her move in and become the roommate, and actually fully move in, not stay because she was sick or transitioning, to what, like move in as a roommate. And within weeks of the friend moving in, this is what prompted the girl to post in the group. And she's like, what y'all think I should do? Run, bitch, fucking run. The
What happened?
boyfriend kicked her out.
Wait,
Because
what?
listen, her and the best friend get into it, and the boyfriend says, I need the money from her to help pay the rent, so you gotta go, and change the locks on her while she was at work. And she talking about, what y'all think I should do?
Oh,
Run.
yeah, that was a plan.
Run, because she
That
ain't
was
too
a plan.
man. Like,
That
yes, that was planned.
that was planned, honey. He been fucking your friend.
Right. And if he
That
wasn't,
was
he
planned.
started when she moved in. But right.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I have a feeling he was fucking her before.
Could have
And
been.
well,
But I'm like, run. Why you in this group
right.
asking anybody what we think you should run? Get your stuff and go the other direction, because you don't need to be. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we got to be accountable and use wisdom and not be stupid, because it ain't nothing that would ever convince me that they wasn't already messing around or had planned it. But who knows? They might not have. It could have been happenstance once it was easily accessible. Don't know.
I'm gonna die on that hill.
But the
I'm
fact that he
on
would
that
change
hill.
the locks and tell her he choose the friend over her because he need help to pay the rent ain't no fucking way. But this is why we gotta
I'm
be
gonna die on that hill, because
mindful.
obviously she was helping pay the rent too, wasn't she?
That's what I'm thinking. Like she working, but the friend must have had
What I'm
some
saying?
diabolical head, because I can't see another way.
I can't see it.
Listen,
I can't see it.
she must have had that fire. As I like to call them, knob goblin. She must have been a fire knob goblin, because
Right. She had to be, because ain't no way. And I'm gonna tell you, I'd have caught a case that day. If I don't stay here, ain't nobody gonna stay here. I'll burn this bitch down.
listen, and I promise you, I literally went through this. So I was babysitting for somebody in my close proximity. I was babysitting for them one day. They like, I'm finna go on a date. And I'm like, okay. So I go to their house to babysit their kid. And she in the back getting dressed, like, answer the door for me, Jazz. And I'm like, okay. And I get the door, and this dude is standing there, and I knew him. I was like, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? And I didn't want to ask him, because like I was a teenager. He's a grown ass man. So I let him in and took my ass in the back with her son. But I'm like really trying to figure out where I knew this dude from. Well, what it was he was married to her best friend. And I had just met them the week prior, when she had taken me to the birthday party that they was throwing for him. Because I had to ask her, like, I know this guy, and I don't know how.
Scandalous.
And she was like, that's so-and-so's husband. I was like, you.
So-and-so's husband. So you.
That's her best friend.
Best friend husband. I was like, you get down like that? And she was like, she ain't gonna know.
She ain't gonna know, but I know, and you know. So
right. So the next time when she called me, you want to go over their house? No, I don't. Don't involve me in your bullshit. But that's why I'm saying, like, sex is what we make it. We can get ourselves caught up in stupid shit. Just to get the dick. or we can
Well,
make intelligent decisions and find accessible dick that ain't tied to somebody else, or we can leave toxic dick. I know y'all keep saying the best dick is toxic. I don't agree with that.
it is. I mean, you know,
I don't know nothing about it, so I can't comment on that.
he ain't got nothing to do but practice. So yeah, it is. It's usually
So what
toxic.
you trying to say? All he do is run around having sex?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, hey, first of all, Gypsy, I'm gonna need you to take your medication. You know, we don't need you out here crashing out. You know what I'm saying? But
Uh,
second of all,
Mm.
I mean, look, and that's, I don't knock nobody for what they do. I ain't God. I can't judge nobody.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? But just don't,
I knock it.
just don't come over here messing up what I got going on, and we cool.
I knock it.
I'ma knock it.
But on the flip side, here's really why I say that sex can be healing. Not only is it pleasurable and it feels good and all those things,
Mhm.
but when you get into the spiritual aspects of it, like that's one of the most
It takes you
physical
to
ways
another
that you can be.
dimension.
Right. But I'm saying like physically, it's one of the closest ways that you can intertwine with a person, right? And
Mm.
so when you add that physical on top of the spiritual, when you really start to tune into a person and sync up with them emotionally and mentally and spiritually and energetically, you do become, now you do have soul ties, yes, doesn't matter, you're creating soul ties, but a lot of that is about intention and how accessible you are energetically. Like when you have fairly good boundaries and you practice good energetic and spiritual hygiene and mental hygiene, it is possible to prevent a lot of those soul ties from taking root and those connections. But aside from that, on the negative, on the positive, there is a beauty in creating that tie with someone that you really enjoy or want to be connected to. Again, whether it's for a reason, season, or a lifetime, and you exchange energy, you exchange power. Now you can do that without ever actually having sex, right? That's very possible. I've done that with people. Um, I'll give you an example in just a minute, but
Yeah, because you see both me and Sean was like,
I'll give
Yeah,
you an
what does
example.
that look like?
yeah, right.
I give you an example. But when it comes to the sexual part of it, it can be really intense and beneficial. So how do you do that without sex? So I was dating this Leo years ago. Leos and
Hmm.
Sagittarius work really well together. Cancers and
Hmm.
Sagittarius work well together. And sometimes like Libras and Sagittarius work well together too, right? And Capricorns. Um, but I was dating this Leo guy and he lived out of state. So, he would come here and we would go out, but that was like both of our jobs. It was just a lot going on. So we didn't see each other, but maybe like once a month. And check this out. The crazy part was we never actually had sex. In like the 5 or 6 months that we were dating, we never had sex. But he knew how to do energy work just like I do. And so he would call me in the morning and check in with me like, Jay, you good? What's going on? I'm like, oh, a little tired today, or I got this project I got to finish, or I got these orders I got to do. And he'd be like, bet, I'm going to send you some energy. So when you know how to tune into a person, and I could push it back to him as well, when you know how to tune into a person, when you know how to harness energy and really use it, you can direct it anywhere you want it to go.
All right, Sean, come on, let's get together and get this Powerball.
I'm just trying to figure out how that works. So, are you like,
Oh, right?
are
I'm
you
like,
like,
So, so
are you like meditating and
yeah, like,
focusing and?
right.
no, you don't even have to get that deep into it. Like if you're just getting to the beginning of your energetic practices, yes, the easiest way to learn how to do it is to meditate, to visualize, to be still and sit with it. Once you learn how to do it, like he could just think about me and send me the energy and I could feel it. Or if he needed an energy boost, because he, like I said, he did very similar work. If he needed an energetic boost, I could just harness that energy and send it to him. So I've gotten to a place in my journey that I can just think about a person and tune in, and I can send them whatever I want to send them, whether it's like some healing energy, whether it's I'm angry with a person or they're upset with me about something and I want to bring some peace into the situation. Anybody can do it. it just gets easier the more you practice, the deeper you get into your journey. But this is basic science. So this is how this works. Because I know somebody's gonna be like, that's some devil shit. This is basic science. If
Right.
we go back to seventh, eighth grade, and you think about when you had the microscope and you had to put the petri dish, maybe even fifth or sixth grade, right? And you had to put the petri dish under the microscope, you change the magnification, and you can see the particles moving around. That's energy. Everything is in motion all the time. Energy never stops, never dies, always moving. So if that be the case, this is how your phone works. That's how crystals work. That's how the microwave works. Everything is just simply
Right.
conducting energy and magnifying it. So if I think about you long enough, the simple example is you ever thought about a person and all of a sudden they end up calling you. And you're like, damn, I was just thinking about you. Or you walk into a store and you ain't seen them in years, and you walk into a store and all of a sudden you're face to face and looking right at them. Or you
Right.
think, I want pizza for dinner tonight. And then your friends call you up and be like, hey, bro, let's go shoot some hoops and get pizza afterwards. So, hey, Gypsy, girl, what you doing? None. Let's go get some pizza. Like, the more you tune into something, the easier it becomes to attract it into the right now moment that you're sitting in. So that's how you push energy to a person. Now they have to be open to receive it, but even if they're not open, if they have weak boundaries, you can still send it to them. This is how people fuck with people, right? If I don't like you and I know that your boundaries are weak, or I know what your weaknesses are, I ain't never got to say a word to you, and I can fuck with you all day long, energetically.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have strong enough boundaries, this is why when people start talking about witchcraft and plotting and planning against people and all those kind of things, that's real. But I always tell people the stronger you focus on protecting yourself by having healthy boundaries, healthy spiritual hygiene and mental health hygiene and energetic hygiene, the less you got to worry about somebody from the outside being able to take you down or torpedo you. You really are usually your own worst enemy. So you can use it for good or bad. Toxic dick is not the best sex. That's what Sher said. Hmm. I'm with
Uh,
you, Sher.
So you just out here whiffy and energy to people, huh?
No, me? No. I gotta actually like you to send you. So for
That's fine.
my
Okay, my
client,
fault. I like to joke around, so I was saying Wi-Fi. Like you just Wi-Fiing it to them.
you can. Now some people do.
That's what
Like
I'm saying.
legit. Yeah, some people do. I gotta like you to give you energy. Like, no. But um I think and that's again going back to where I started with this. That's one of the reasons that sex can be really powerful, because it's a deeper, more magnified energetic exchange.
So how come an uncell can't manifest sex when that's what they really want? Uh,
So
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh and cry at the same time. Woo.
You are something else.
So so when you get into energy hygiene, this is when we get into like law, like the universal laws, right? Law of
Hmm.
attraction, law of reciprocity, and
Hmm.
all these things. Manifesting. The more you want something, you can also push it away, because you can
Mm.
shift from I can have this, I'm worthy of this, to I'm so desperate. And what do they say about closed hands? Closed hands don't lose anything, but they also can't receive anything. So the more desperate you are for something, the less likely you are to actually get it, because that energy repulses people. You ever walked into a space and you're like, damn, I don't feel good around that person. Let me get as far away from them as I can.
Hmm.
So that's why incels really can't get what they want, because as much as they may say they want it, they probably don't. Like most of them probably hate women. You know what I'm saying? So
Have you
you
ever heard them talk? It's not a probably.
they hate women.
No,
So the more you repulse it, the less likely you are to get it, because women pick up on that. They can feel it. They not gonna fuck you. No.
they hate women because ain't nobody ever wanted to give them none.
That part.
Hey, Jason. You said I ain't used to
Hey,
y'all
good
on
to
Mondays yet.
see
We
you.
know. But thank you for coming on through, Jason. Sure said angels and demons, the priority of Sion use sex to enter another realm. Oh my God, yes. Yes. This is why and Sure says some people like the convenience of the relationship piece as the side piece. Yes. Now this is why. So Sean, I believe you said you've experienced it with the women. Gypsy, I think you said you had experienced it, but this is why a lot of times a woman will start to cry during sex when it's pleasurable and it's enjoyable because it literally.
I ain't never turned no waterworks on. That's just weird.
Man, let me tell you, it has happened to me. It's happened. It's only ever happened with one person, but it's happened. But it was like my body and my soul had just gotten to a place with him where I was so relaxed and I was so at peace. It just unlocked a whole scared the shit out of him and me when it first happened. Like real talk. But it's
So
actually pretty normal.
That's what is known as good dick.
Yes.
I'm just saying. That's what it is.
But it's got to be more than just good dick.
Wait a minute. So he said,
but that's what makes it good though, is that connection.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could be used to dating somebody with a monster, but you meet this guy and all he got is 6 inches, but he take you to a plane you ain't never been to. We understand, Gypsy. I seen you make the face. I'm just saying. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking in general. Okay, I don't want nobody to get that twisted either.
Okay, I was finna say shoot your shot, ladies, but hold off. Wait a minute. I don't know. Keep talking, Sean. No, I'm just playing.
No, but I'm just saying though, because he can take you to places. He could take you to places that nobody else took you, and you would never expect it. And then next thing you know, you in love, and you on planet ecstasy all day long.
Okay, Gypsy, have you ever had a moment where you didn't want to look somebody in the eyes when you were having sex or making love or fucking or whatever, but you didn't want to look in the eyes because it was too intense?
Yes.
See, that's like a precursor. Like once you get to that point with a person, that next level oftentimes for the woman is that it starts to unlock her body. Like it literally can't help to unlock trauma that's held in the physical body. It can unlock a deeper level of healing. Yeah. So like a lot of times that's why women will close their eyes. Not all the time, but that's sometimes why women will close their eyes during sex, is because it gets to the point where it's so intense. You got to just kind of shut it out for a minute to stay focused and stay in the moment and not.
But when you lock eyes, that's just going to fuck everything up. Like you lose it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jason Jason said, what, not Thanos beat Thanos? Man, Jason, let me tell you. Tanya said that's ecstasy. Man, pure ecstasy.
No, I ain't cried yet, Jason.
It really works when you're in tune with your person. Yes, sure. Gypsy ain't cried yet. She gonna get there, y'all. I got faith.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna make sure I never fuck with nobody that could possibly make me cry.
It's gonna happen. That shit gonna sneak up on you too. Listen, because that really is how it ends up happening. That shit will sneak up on you. And in the moment, like when it first happened, I was so stunned. I was like, what the? I started laughing at the same time because I was like, what's happening? I had no control over it. I could not stop it. And he was like, are you okay? Like, am I hurting you? Like, what's going on? I was like, I'm okay.
Girl, you sound like somebody that flew over the cuckoo's nest. Ain't no way in the hell. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna stop him mid-show, get up, get my clothes, and go.
We had to pause. We had to pause because he was like, "Okay, what's happening?" And I was like, "I don't know. I need a moment." But once I had it caught me so off guard. Once I had sat with it, I was like, "Damn." So I was able to. I had to check in with myself, and then I was able to explain to him, what had happened, and he was like, "Okay." So it happened again, and it's only ever happened with one person, right? But it became like this thing periodically. Like once he knew,
Yeah, because the first time, yeah, I'd have been like, what?
Right.
I
Now
mean,
I
'cause-
didn't
okay.
laugh after
So
that.
I
I mean,
mean,
it caught me so off guard too. But yeah, once he understood
so
it and I understood it, you just kind of roll with it.
I have a
But it's
question.
normal. Mm,
So that means you let your soulmate get away, huh?
no. Now I happen to believe we have more than one soulmate, and not all of our soulmates are going to be romantic partners. My grandmother was actually my
That's
first
true.
soulmate.
No, I agree
Um,
with you 100%.
yeah, my grandmother was actually my very first soulmate. But I I think that we definitely served a purpose in each other's lives for the years that we had together, and then that purpose came to an end. But for me, he was just instrumental in like in that time that we had. He was very instrumental in me navigating a lot of the physical changes that my body went through, and I'm thankful that I had a safe person because I've heard so many women go through things, you know what I'm saying, like having a baby or a hysterectomy or major surgery or medical crisis or anything, and they got assholes for partners. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that can really make a big difference. And I've had the experience of having an asshole in my life when something major happened, and then I had the experience of him, and it's a very different thing that heals even in itself for a woman when you're navigating things. This is why I say sex and intimacy truly can be part of
That
the healing journey depending on how you use it.
I got a question for you. Like that triggered a question right then.
Okay,
Because
can I catch up on these comments real quick and then you can
sure.
ask your question? Okay. Tanya said there was a guy whose contact name in my phone was sent because the way he made me feel was that baby.
That's always a good time.
They'll be the ones you be like, I don't know if I got it in me to answer the phone this time.
But you
Sure said
still
that is
do.
so true. You have to be careful, like Jazz said. Jason said, "Oh, Gypsy, you think you tough? Man,
Mm-hmm.
listen, Gypsy
Mm-hmm.
thinks you the baddest thing walking the
Mm-hmm.
planet."
Mm-hmm.
Sure. What are the alien faces for? Jason said, Jay, you know he did the I snap dance when he went into the bathroom. I'm sure he probably did.
He did a
What was
shimmy and
the question?
everything.
Okay. So we talk about how sex heals.
Yeah.
However, we also know that when a woman has some traumatic things where she may need a hysterectomy or she may have a miscarriage or things like that, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so if sex really heals, right? Um, hmm, it, hmm, I would have to say it has to be you're right when you say the right partner because there are some partners that
Oh
once
yeah.
you have like any sort of female issues, they no longer look at you as a
Yeah.
woman, right? Um, like if you can't have kids anymore and stuff like that. So when does it become harmful? If that was the same sex that was healing then becomes harmful because they can't see you
Right.
the same.
I've had that happen. Um, so you know, with my history and all the things that I had experienced, I was very upfront at a certain point that I was no longer gonna be open to having kids. And a lot of men place their value in spreading their seed and wanting to have babies and do all these things. And so they'll see you as less of a woman. And a lot of women will look at you that way too. It's too many people out there minding the uterus of other people. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where the journey truly has to be personal and intimate within self. There are a lot of things that I've had to navigate that I may never talk out loud to anybody about, not because I don't trust people or don't have safe space to talk about it, but there are just some things that you have to sit inwardly and be able to make peace with and
Mhm.
come to grips with, right? But that's all. This is why I always say if you have a sexual partner that you cannot talk to about your body and you cannot express what is enjoyable or what's not, what you like versus what you don't, who won't respect your boundaries of what's off limits, how you feel, what you need, you have either chosen the wrong person or you're not allowing them to be safe for you, because sometimes they're ready, like, teach me, tag me in, coach, but you're not talking, you're not sharing, right? You're not creating communication and conversation. So first and foremost, sex has to be safe with you, the person, individually. You have to be in a place where you are safe in your own body, where you get to know your body, you learn your body. Because if you don't learn your body, how can you teach someone else your body? That's number one. Number two, we have to date intentionally. We have to have sex intentionally. We have to choose the people in our life intentionally that we give the deeper levels of access to. Now, and this is why I'm like, I don't knock one night stands or any of those. Listen, we grown, do what you're gonna do. Just be at peace with your choices. But when we make choices, we have to deal with the repercussions and the consequences of those choices, whatever they may be. Whether it was a fucked up experience and you really didn't like it, whether you feel like they took advantage of you, outside of somebody doing something against your actual will or without your consent, we got to be accountable for the choices we make, right? So with that being said, how you get to the point of, like, for me with that particular person, and the reason, like, y'all know me, I normally will talk around some shit all night long and never really tell you a whole bunch about my personal space. But the reason I was willing to share that is because I think that's a part of the conversation that we as women have to be able to dive a little deeper into, right? That sex truly can be healing. Intimacy can be healing with the right person. The way that I was able to get there with that particular person, one, we had years together. So we went through the discomfort of the first few uncomfortable times that we ever had sex when we started dating and got into a relationship. It's always awkward the first couple of times you have sex with somebody. I don't care how great they are and how great you are, Sean, whatever.
Look, man, I've heard that and I just don't understand how that is. Unless it's bad, I don't understand how that is.
Well, awkward is not bad. Awkward meaning there's a little discomfort, because for women, I will say it's like, okay, no matter how much I love my body, what is this person going to think about my body?
Right.
What are the
and that's that y'all get into your head too
You're
much.
right. And I wholeheartedly agree with you. We are harder on ourselves than men are, but that's where our minds go. What am I going to think about his body? Am I going to be pleasing to him?
Pause for a second. When you said we're harder than, no, a lot of times we've heard it from someone before and now it replays like a tape, and that's why we are like that.
Well, the reason I say we're harder than most men is because I've never had a man tell me that they didn't like my body. My body issues came from my family, right? Growing up, I was always, I have the same body now, minus like a muffin top. I have the same body now that I had when I was like 14, right? So I grew really fast. I'm the same height that I've been since I was 14 years old at 45, right? Because my family's taller. So here I came shorty, and I guess my body was like, let's catch up to them. And then it just stopped growing. So I had boobs, I had butt, I had thigh. And it was the women in my family that gave me the hardest time about my body. Girl, your hips sure are getting big. You got more butt since the last time I seen you. Like, it was the women every time that gave me complexities and insecurities about my body. I've never actually dated a man that made me feel bad about my body. They've always celebrated. So that's why I was agreeing with Sean. Now I've heard a lot of women talk about men making nasty comments and being ugly to them, right? I'm thankful that I've not had that experience.
So this is my thing with that. Dude, how you gonna sleep with it and talk shit about a body? Fuck out of here.
Right? Like, that's the craziest shit to me.
Because if I'm sleeping with you,
are narcissists, though, Sean.
Nah. But if I'm sleeping with you, I must be attracted to you, and don't be coming in there wearing shit like, oh, I want to cover this. Nah, if I want to see it, I want to see it. Take all that shit off. But that's why my whole thing is fuck societal norms, man. Because that's what people let society tell them so much shit, and they get so much shit in their head. They think, oh, I gotta be this way, I gotta be that way, I gotta look like this, I gotta look like that. Yo, be you and live your life and what makes you happy.
Yes. Jason said, tell him, Sean, if we approach it,
that's true.
That's
true.
That's true. But yeah, so Gypsy, going back to your question, first of all, Sean, high five, because I wholeheartedly agree with all of that. And Gypsy, like I said, this is why I say that women, we have to be willing to have these conversations and be uncomfortable enough to have them, because we do get in our heads. And whether it's a man we've heard it from or women we've heard it from, we have some type of disagreement within ourselves of what we feel we look like versus what we should or want to look like, right? And we beat ourselves up. But then at the same time, if you add, I've heard some women say some of the things their husbands and boyfriends have said to them after getting pregnant and having babies, and I'm like, he would have woke up dead, because I don't understand. But okay, you still with him? Love that for you. You know what I'm saying? That being said, when you find a safe person, it really is about the exploration. So going back to Sean's question, why I say awkward, like we as women get in our head. Then there's the question: is my body going to please him? Is his body going to please me? Hell, am I going to like what he looks like with his clothes off? Am I
Right.
going to like his package? Is it going to feel good? And then you're just learning each other's bodies. Like no matter how great you may be at sex
Oh
separately,
no,
you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
come
yeah.
together and figure it out. And it's never smooth like it is in the movies. Like you might elbow one another, you might slip. You know, it's
I
all
mean,
that kind of
that's.
random shit.
I mean, you could be together for years, and that's
And
still going to happen.
right. But you
Right.
find your symmetry over time. So how you get to the point of sex really being able to heal, you could do it with a brand new person. You could just use the experience and pull the pleasure from it. It's just that simple. But if you got a dedicated partner, the more you develop ease and safety and security with that person, and you allow your guard to come down as a woman, um, it just allows you to tap into those resources within you, into those recesses within you. So for me, I've used sex to heal my own insecurities about my body. I did not focus on him. I was focused on enjoying it, the pleasure, the joy, the comfort that I felt in expressing myself, exploring, you know what I'm saying? And I use that, all of that inwardly. And I talk with clients about this all day long. And let me throw this out here. And let me put this disclaimer that I don't recommend this unless you are in therapy and actively working on whatever you got to work on. And then you want to use this as an accompaniment. But for those women that have been victims of some type of physical or emotional trauma or abuse, sexual abuse, etc., right? It is positive to use intimacy and sex as a way to start to heal your relationship with your body and your relationship with sex. But you truly got to have a person that hands down you feel safety with across the board. And I don't recommend doing it unless you have a therapist that you are partnering with and talking with them about it as you're navigating it, so that you can ask questions, they can give you feedback. Like, even though I'm not a practicing, mental health professional anymore, I still do this as a wellness coach. I have clients all the time that are asking me things, and we're talking through, and they're navigating different experiences of reclaiming their body and feeling safe in their bodies, feeling grounded in their bodies, and creating that with their person, male or female. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. It's up to the person to figure out if they want it. Gypsy hard though. She over there trying to be like Thanos and destroy the
Man,
world.
she got all these walls up, but she gonna be
It's
fucking
gonna
around
come.
one day. Yep,
Right. You gonna fuck around and find out. You
yep,
gonna get that
yep,
one man, and he
yep.
gonna put it on you like Jason said, that Thanos dick, and you gonna be around here like,
Mm-hmm. You're gonna
hey
be looking like
y'all.
what the hell just happened? I don't even know.
Yeah, it'll sneak up on you, girl. I'm sure it's the same for men, maybe expressed in different ways or felt in different ways, but I'm sure there's some symmetry on the masculine side.
I mean, for the most part, men are simple. You know what I'm saying? Now, most men have limited experience, and then there's some men that have a lot of experience. So it just depends on what kind of man you come across. Because it's a lot of women that be like, "Oh, I got that wet wet," and he's like, "Yo, I need some lube." Fuck you, you over here bullshit. And then you got women that be scared, like, because they squirt, and they be like, "I don't know how you gonna act if I squirt." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just depends on the people and what's going on. And I mean, yeah, you always have to find your symmetry when if you fuck with somebody like that.
Yeah.
Now, if it's just a one night stand or just a here and there type of thing, then if you choose to deal with it, you choose to deal with it.
Jason said Gypsy be playing tough. And Fire said Gypsy gonna get that Thanos dick and be like, who that dick? It'll sneak up on you. I'm telling you. Shut I agree with you. There comes a moment when you have to recognize that there's so many layers to sex. I mean, you can just do it at the base level, and that be that. You get your rocks off, they get their rocks off, and you keep it moving. But once you really let your guard down with a person, as you build safety and comfort with them and get to know them, there's this moment where you got to decide, okay, do I keep going? Because if you keep going, it's going to intensify. Like it has no choice because you've unlocked something in one another. And then you have to decide whether you keep going or not, or whether you back it up and then you go find somebody new and start over, with you. But sex is powerful, man. And then the whole squirting debate. Some people say it's pee. Some people say it's not pee. Who knows? But I say if you squirt, shit, be okay with it. And lube is, yay. Young folks using lube, old ladies using lube, young men having erectile dysfunction, old men still getting it up. We all
I don't understand that. I don't understand how these young cats, like, what are y'all doing?
You know how a lot of them are either abusing the pills young, or they're addicted to porn, and then they get to a point where they can't, like, normal shit just don't do it for them anymore. That's why, like, our society is just so reprobate, and that's why we have all the issues that we have. We got a whole bunch of sexual deviants walking around with us.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know too many guys that don't like porn, but I mean, damn, how do you get it? I don't know how you get addicted to it. I just don't.
It gets you got some that get so caught up in it, they would prefer to jack off the porn than to actually sleep with a real person.
And that's crazy.
And think about this too, Sean. Some of them might be into that strange porn, like snuff films.
I feel you.
There was a dude that got arrested.
The young guys using honey packs too early.
There was a dude that got arrested for having sex with corpses and shit.
I mean, that's been going. Yeah, that's been going on since the beginning of time.
Some people just nasty.
I mean,
yeah, but I'm just saying. So there are people that they got some weird shit going on, and they watch some weird shit. Now they want to do the weird shit. They want to have sex with animals and all kinds of shit. And then you But no wonder normal sex don't do it for you. You think you want a great thing.
Well, and I think that's the reason that some men, that's not my field of expertise, so I'm not going to dig too deep into it. But I think that's the reason that some men prefer to watch porn and jack off, because the hand can grip tighter than the vagina can. Mm-hmm. And so if that's what you become used to, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they become so desensitized that a regular vagina can't compare to what they have.
Well, nigga, you keep putting a tourniquet on your dick, then of course.
Cock rings.
Ladies, stay on top of your Kegels, you'll have no problems.
Kegels still can't compete with cock rings.
Well,
for that person that wants that.
I mean, cock ring is to keep you from coming. So I don't understand how you would put a cock ring on a masturbate. But
well, no, I mean, some people can't stay hard if they don't put a cock ring on after a certain point, because their body becomes so accustomed to it, they can't maintain an erection without it.
Okay.
And
some people that damage themselves, basically, is what she's saying.
Nerve sensitivity can be thrown off. I think I've shared in a past episode how I knew this guy years ago that he wasn't circumcised at birth, and in his 30s, I think he was late 30s, had to go get circumcised, basically, because the skin had started tearing from so much sex.
Oh, Jesus.
Fix it. So they had to go, and it was basically an adult circumcision. Like they had to go because the skin had started tearing. And I was like,
ooh, damn.
I
I
mean,
don't even have one, and that shit sound painful. Ooh, shit.
listen,
he wasn't taking care of it properly.
he was just fucking everything on the Eastern Seaboard, I think, at one point. So, according to the escapades that he was telling me about. So, I don't know.
Lord.
That being said, it's a whole lot of folks that's abusing their organs, their sex organs, men and women.
Men and women.
You
somewhere somebody with a dildo that's probably the size of a 2-liter bottle.
Listen, okay, so y'all, I have really considered whether I want to sell like adult toys, because I'm like, why not? We have a whole podcast talking about sex every week. Why not? So as I've been researching it and looking into it, and I've had people through the years ask me like, why don't you sign up for this? Because I'll buy it from you. And I'm like, not really my thing. But I'm seriously thinking about it now. But what gets me though is I've been researching it. Listen. Why does it need to be this damn big? What? That's all I'm gonna say. Why?
And you thought I was joking when I said some people out here with 2-liter bottle damn dildos.
Yes. And then like fisting. Who the fuck wants a fist shoved up their vagina? What? Why?
I'm trying to figure out what do you get out of doing that? Like, what?
I don't
like,
like
how is
on both how is, like yeah?
Like, how is that gonna turn you on? It's gonna turn you on and sit there and but like okay, like so you're not built like that, but okay, all right, whatever.
I really try not to kink shame or shame anybody when it comes, but some things I just don't understand.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, that's
and I know we're all made differently, but no. Mm-mm. They out here buzzing. Tanya, listen, and this shit just gets wild.
Right. I'm just like
talking about in this group I'm in is like y'all are legit all hoes and freaks. Like what?
I mean, I'm just thinking, what does your next day look like? Does it look like you in the tub all day trying to soak it out or what? I'm just like,
listen, because I'm talking about, I feel like an average size had me like, I need to rest. I'm good.
What average size had me doing a soak bath one time. Something that's like a damn Coke bottle or something. And what?
Yeah, all you need is some vinegar. You know, yeah.
Vinegar. You say that one more time. No.
No. It was a nice warm bath with some Epsom salt.
Now you need it. If you add vinegar, when you add vinegar in there, you know it'll go ahead and burn. Nah, it's going to just cool.
No. First of all, they need to stop telling people to do that, because they really do tell people to do that. They need to stop telling people to do that. Jason said they saw it on porn and tried it, like when men pull out and pat y'all hoo-ha, then put it back. That shit.
Yeah, what does that do?
It feels good.
Does it?
Uh-huh.
You said does it feel good?
It feels good.
That's weird. That's weird.
Anywho, so I'm in different groups. The one group is the sex group that all the ladies be sharing stuff, but I'm in like different homesteading groups and different women's groups. And y'all, please stop putting vinegar in y'all bath water. If any woman is listening to this, stop doing that shit. Like,
right, what did it do?
You gonna fuck around and pickle your shit.
Like, for real though?
It's the same thing that's in Summer's Eve.
No, it isn't. And Summer's Eve is diluted. You talking about putting? Do you know some people probably listen to you And then probably try to pour that whole bottle in that goddamn.
I ain't say pour the whole bottle in there. I ain't even
But
say
you
how much
didn't
to
give
put
a
in
ring
there.
amount. You just said
Okay,
vinegar.
But the reason I'm saying they need to stop, because the people in the ladies group be telling folks, I put some vinegar. They be, oh my God. Yeah.
Let me see
That
what
being said, ladies, if y'all listen to anything we done said tonight, and I'm not saying that you can't use vinegar, but this should not be a every time you have sex, you finna soak in the tub with vinegar. This should not be a every day or even an every week thing. If you're gonna use it, this needs to be a periodic thing that you decide to do. And it damn sure shouldn't be no whole bottle of vinegar in the tub either. I mean, you got people out here putting cups full of bleach in their water. Like it's just too much going on. When if you have good hygiene, if you hydrate, and that's not only about drinking water, but if you eat fruit, if you eat vegetables, if you eat healthy, if you exercise, like, come on, y'all. Some of this can be mitigated by just actually doing better to take care of yourself on a daily, regular basis. You would have no shit that you got to fix with this insanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to shame anybody, but the more we take care of ourselves intentionally every day, you have less that you got to fix.
Okay, wait a minute.
Crazy things.
So
What?
I went to YouTube University, so I went to see. You know why a lot of people are putting vinegar in their water? They either got a little older, or they got some sort of
like that,
or they got some sort of vaginal infection, and they don't want to go get treated, and they think they could treat it with vinegar at home.
Yeah,
go get you some goddamn
bleach. They'll use.
Well, I mean, that's just what they say on there. But from what I've known of it, it was only used just to tighten it back up.
But they said it can be. They said the drawbacks. Now they said it's for pH balancing. These are the good things: pH balancing, fighting bacteria and fungi, soothing and reducing inflammation, exfoliation, and managing odor. But the drawbacks: skin irritation, not a substitute for medical treatment, potential for worsening infections,
that
individual
all the good bacteria with the bad bacteria,
right? And then
if you're masking your symptoms, you're not fixing the underlying problem.
I was about to say that, and you sitting in a tub, so now you got dirt and water and vinegar all together, soaking and going in the yeah, okay.
So all I'm saying is, for the tightening, the reason I'm not a big advocate, even if they just want to use it to tighten, first of all, that plays a role in vaginal health. Second of all, that's your pelvic floor. Right. That also has something to do with your abdominal muscles. And if you have weakened abdominal muscles, weakened pelvic floor muscles, then you risk potentially having to deal with uterine prolapse as you age. And that shit is not fun, ladies. Let me tell you, I have had to put my hand in a woman's vagina to keep her uterus from falling out when I was dealing with my hospice patients. And it's not that they just did anything wrong, but this can come from carrying oversized, heavy babies. This can come from physical trauma and damage incurred after childbirth or other types of injuries. Like, there are all kind of reasons that it happens, right? So if you're just dealing with muscle weakness or vaginal looseness, that's not always something you need to fix by sitting in a tub. Sometimes you need to take your ass to fit. This is why I'm an advocate for physical therapy. Physical therapy for women, pelvic floor physical therapy, especially because those walls, those muscles, that pelvic floor all work together to hold your organs in place. Because yes, they can actually start to slip down and eventually start to come out. And that's not fun and actually very painful from what I've heard. So a lot of these things, we just are masking the problem. Even if you're trying to get rid of an odor, what is that odor coming from? Is it something that you ate that's coming through your pores and through your body? Is it your sexual partner? But it can be, Sean. It actually can be.
No, I know that, but most of the time it's because they got multiple sexual partners. They're not using protection.
Not true. Sometimes it's one sexual partner, and that person may either have unhealthy hygiene. They may have multiple sexual partners, Or it could actually be her body's responding to his semen and she's having
Yeah,
a
that's true too.
response.
Right.
So they
She
both
could
may
be
be
allergic
clean
to
and
it.
not be doing anything on the outside, but it could be like an allergic response that your body is
No,
having.
no, that's true because sometimes, yeah, it just ain't gonna work physically.
Right.
Yep.
It could be that your toys weren't properly sanitized, or that you're responding if you use like toys that are made out of latex and different
Mm-hmm.
materials. Your body may not like that, and it may be causing some type
Right.
of allergic reaction.
Yeah, no, that's why they make glass
Oh,
and silicone
but
too.
truthfully, you could be allergic to his semen or
Yeah,
something that he
No,
ate.
yeah,
yeah. It could
Yeah.
be the condoms that you're using. A lot of ladies have a sensitivity to different types of condoms. It could be any number of things, right? It could be the underwear that you're wearing, the material is causing
Mm-hmm.
your body to overproduce
Oh, yep.
bacteria. Or if
Especially
you're
if you got dyes and stuff.
sweating at work. Yeah, I mean, it's so many reasons. That's why I'm like, just sitting there, stop doing this vinegar in the tub. Take your ass to the doctor.
Stop going to YouTube University
I
and
mean, and see, y'all made it a whole thing. I was just talking about tightening it up. That's it. I wasn't even talking
no,
about all the other
but
stuff, but
no,
y'all made it a whole
But
thing.
we
but
made it a whole thing because that's part of the discussion. Like women out
right.
here doing this shit and they don't know, and then they coming back in the group like, "Hey, the fuck? Do you think it would not burn
Because
because
you
that's
put too much in it. Why would you
it's
put that much
acid?
in there?
Like, come on now.
But you know that's the
Vinegar's
thing.
not gonna fix that. Mm.
That's the thing. People go on YouTube or on Google and they try to figure out, well, I could use this or I could use that. No, you cannot. You cannot.
Well, see now, and see that was just that's an old wives thing with grandma, great grandma. You tighten that thing back up, use a little bit of vinegar. That's it. It wasn't about no fixing nothing else. It was just tighten that thing back up, use a little vinegar. That's it.
And actually, they used alum, not vinegar.
Yeah. They
I'm just trying to say, hey,
they did.
I'm just saying.
You do know that different people in different places do different shit, right?
Alum is a pickling agent.
But different people in different places do different shit. Just like they use alum, some of them use vinegar. It's just what it is.
Whatever's at the house, huh?
Some
I
people
mean, I don't know. I don't have to deal with it. I wasn't
no,
there.
but like for real, on a real, especially in our culture, in the African American culture,
yeah.
we use a lot of things from the house to treat things because we didn't have access to
access.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, we couldn't
and
get
so
healthcare.
Alum if you had it, vinegar if you didn't.
Yeah, and some people use hydroperoxide. I mean, there's different wives' tales and reasons why the old midwives and birthing doulas and community healers recommended different things. Like Gypsy said, we ain't always have access, so you use what you got and you figure out what it's going to do.
Shoot, I remember what was it? Was it cod liver oil or was it castor? Which one is black? The one that they use to, like, if you had a cold, they would make you drink. Yeah, they would make you drink that, and you'd be in the bathroom, but that cold be gone. They put onion under your foot and put the
slice of potato.
Yep, and I mean, and these are the things. Like, so this particular podcast was about using sex as healing, but the thing is we've always used unconventional things as healings in our culture.
It's not really unconventional. It's natural because in the motherland, that's what we did. We used the herbs and the plants, and we made our medicines, and that's what happened.
I would say we use traditional things because what do we do before modern medicine? Like they used plants and herbs and earth. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's traditional, and then it's just based on culture and location.
Modern medicine is based off of traditional,
right?
Because that's where they get everything from.
And it's still
think about it. Grandma had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kids. So yeah, she used sex as healing too from trauma.
Sure she did. Like Marvin Gaye said, let's get it on. But that's like penicillin was discovered because of mold. Now that don't mean go lick the mold in your bathroom. That mold you should not be breathing in. You know what I'm saying? but
Right.
Modern medicine is what it is because of research and experimentation. Some of it as barbaric and fucked up as it was. Um, Here we are today. But that doesn't mean that the old school ways don't work. We just,
Right.
I feel like find your space. I like the middle space. I use modern medicine when I need it, and I
Something.
use allopathic and naturopathic medicine, as I'm able to as well for different things. So I say find your space with it. Whatever you do, always make sure that your healing journey is personal, like sex
Right.
or no sex, celibacy or no celibacy, medicine or no medicine. Like, I don't think that we really can find true balance in life or wealth in life and health in life if we are so focused on it has to be this one way, because you miss out on all the other opportunities that life may deliver what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my thought. But anything else y'all want to chime in before we
I,
bring to like episode to an end?
I do want to think about this though, is sometimes we need to find out what is the trauma we're trying to heal from anyway, and stop using sex only and
Absolutely.
try to heal that inner child or whatever is going on with you. Because if you find yourself just constantly seeking intimacy when it's too soon to be seeking intimacy from that particular or these particular people or whatever, then go address your lack of intimacy issues first, because if
Absolutely.
not, you're gonna hit your wagon to somewhere you shouldn't be.
Absolutely.
So
And
like,
sometimes you just want to get it on.
well, I mean, there's that too, but yeah, but
I'm
that's
just saying.
different. That's different from, call yourself just trying to have sex to just feel like you want to fix something or heal something or whatever. Sometimes it can't be fixed with sex.
Sure said you can be allergic to someone. You absolutely can, for real, for real. And y'all know I am always gonna scream from the mountaintop and the hill that mental health has
Yeah.
to play a role in our life, right? The
Yeah.
same way that we prioritize dressing a certain way because we want to feel good, or wearing a certain cologne or perfume because
Right.
we want to feel good, or getting our hair cut because we want to look good or feel good, whatever. If we're willing to do those things, whether you go to a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whether you talk to your medical doctor about your physical body, whether you work with a dietitian or a nutritionist or a fitness trainer or a physical therapist, whether you work with a holistic practitioner, you have to figure out the people that you need on your team at different times in your life in order to best navigate. Now, I'm an advocate for therapy, so I've probably been in therapy the past 20 years. Not that something's always wrong, but I think that it's a beautiful space even when things are good. I celebrate life, in that sacred space. And I tell my therapist what's going right in my life. And sometimes I just have safe space to talk it through and be like, you know what? Let me tell you what the fuck I did. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about telling it to maybe a friend that it may be a little sensitive because they had a struggle or whatever. That's my person. I can talk to whatever about whoever and all the things, right? And
Mhm.
so it's not just the space when you're struggling and you're going through, but therapy really now to interview your therapist, because some of them just as fucked up as you is, if not more, right? So let's be real about that too. Interview your therapist,
Right.
and if you don't get a good vibe, and if you don't feel good, and you're not fucking with them
Right.
after that first session, maybe try a second or a third, depending on how you feel. But sometimes after that first one, this ain't it. Sometimes you got to give it a couple of sessions to figure out whether it's it or not. But interview them the same way you would like anybody else that you're going to give access to your most intimate self. You don't start off besties in the therapy space. That comes over time. But you at
Right.
least need to have somebody that you feel good around, feel safe in their presence, at least initially, and then you build on top of that. And in that space, again, like I said, sex is a beautiful thing. I mean, it really can be, but it should not be a band-aid or a cover-up. It
That
should be
part.
just a healthy addition to your life. Sometimes you need to be celibate, even if you're married or in a relationship.
Right.
Sometimes you need to be
Mhm.
celibate
For
by
clarity.
yourself for a couple of weeks. Even, and I'm not saying withhold from your spouse, and definitely, but sometimes even if it's a week or two, talk to your spouse, talk to your person. Hey, babe, this is what I need to work on. So is there a time that I can try to plan this around that'll coincide with you being okay? Maybe your person's going to be traveling, or maybe they having a medical procedure or surgery,
Right.
and it coincides. And sometimes you just got to have safe space with that person and be like, babe, I know you love my body and I love yours, and we fucking every day 3-4 times a day, but here's what I'm dealing with, and I just kind of need some sacred space to work through it. Like, it's okay to build that into your relationship too.
And the other thing is don't just seek therapy for like grief.
Yeah.
I mean, well, don't seek therapy when I say grief for the death of a person. You can grieve other things. Like right now, we've got a lot going on in the world.
Thank you, Dis. See y'all later.
Good night. Yeah. So it could be you grieving the loss of your sense of normalcy, the loss of your routine, the loss of, you know, if you have to move, the loss of your home.
All of it.
If you've had a fire, or if somebody leaves the job and retires, you've been working with them for 15 years. I mean, they retired. They didn't die, they retired. But the thing is, there is still that sense of loss. And that is something that we've never really addressed as a society. They talk about loss when people die, and that's about it. But
I think people are talking about it, but it's, from my perspective, what I see a lot of times is people still want to police how you grieve. It should look this way. You should only be grieving for this length of time. And then a lot of that is formatted around what job you have, because everybody is not in a position where they can, you know what I'm saying, they can take time away from life like they used to do in the old school days, where you took time off of work and you had more of a community and family support and all those things. So I think some of it's that as well, but so that we don't go off on another tangent, because I think that would be a good episode on its own, y'all. Let's talk about grief and like navigating some of that stuff. But to close us out today, at the end of the day, y'all, therapy is your sacred space to talk about whoever, whatever. And I tell people, when I was in mental health, shit, I'm your hype bestie, baby. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna celebrate you. I'm gonna call you on your bullshit though, but I'm gonna hype you too when it's cool. And even now as a wellness coach, same thing. Like, I'm gonna call you on your bullshit, but I'm gonna hype you.
What I'm taking away from this, from what you said, Jay, I need to sell a bit, so I gotta find me a good corner. And then Gypsy, I need a map because I'm lost, so I gotta find my way. So that's my takeaway from it.
We're gonna go with that. Wherever y'all is,
let me just say what my takeaway is. My takeaway is that Sean dates himself. He puts on cologne, and he right before he gets ready to meet himself in the bedroom. All right.
And you know what? And I will make love to myself, and I will have a whole orgasm. I don't just bust a nut. I have a whole orgasm.
Listen, because it's two different things.
Exactly.
I heard that you be getting yourself inebriated too.
Ooh.
I mean, I do. I mean, you can see right now my cup is empty. I need some more drink.
You need to stop. You need to stop drugging him up before you do stuff.
Is he an unwilling participant, Sean?
He's an unwilling participant. Is that what it is? You have to ply him with.
Nah, I mean, that's for me, because he be always wanting it. And I'm like, no, not today.
That being said, y'all, good night. We will see you next Monday.
Celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Turn it up for us and enjoy some good margaritas. We will see you next week. But before you go, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it out.
There you go. Some good tequila. Good tequila.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. How about that?